Hi, I'm Josh. How are you?
Hi, I'm Delaney.
We're so excited to record this.
We hope you enjoy it.
Okay, have a great day.
But for real, we wanted to make a wedding video with our stories about how we met and the proposal so that everyone at the wedding is on the same page and we don't have to explain the proposal and everything to every single person at the wedding. So continue watching and you will be informed. So we met at Mosaic Christian Church where we both attend. And one weekend I was asked to give my testimony, so I did, and little did I know that this man was in the back row.
Yeah, I'd been going to Mosaic for a couple months. I'd recently moved shortly before that, so I hadn't been in the area too long. I didn't know too many people. I get in there, and Delaney's giving her testimony, and she has a very real testimony and about dramatic change and everything. And as I'm sitting there, I'm like, wow, this sounds familiar, and how quickly and the fact that she wanted everyone in her life to experience it and just come and see, and yeah, it really did not hurt that I found her very, very attractive. And so I was thinking to myself, wow, let's begin reconnaissance.
So after I gave my testimony, I think a few days later I went back to school. And during that time I get a phone call from my mom and she's like, Delaney, I found your husband. He goes to Mosaic. He's on the serving team. And I was just like, okay, Mom, like, okay. And normally she's like, oh, I found a man for you. But like when she said, I found your husband, I was kind of like, okay, all right, cool. So I come back for Thanksgiving break. And my Thanksgiving break was 12 days before I had graduated. So I came home for Thanksgiving break, and then 12 days later I was graduating. So I come home, and I'm serving on the weekend, and this guy's here, and he's serving with me, and we have our first conversation. And yeah, I was shocked by the conversation. It was very real, and he was asking real questions. And then I went up to my mom afterwards and I was like, did you see that guy talking to me? And she was like, yeah, that's the guy who I want you to marry. So
yeah, exactly like that. And I think that over the course of my reconnaissance, I found out that she had been graduating in maybe the next year, so I was under the impression that she was at least a year away, and I wasn't going to get my hopes up or anything too high. And then when she dropped that bombshell that she was graduating in 12 days, it dramatically changed, and all of a sudden I just tried to get in contact with her as much as possible without, in a completely non-threatening way, obviously. But, I just wanted to try to be around her as much as possible, and so it was group dates and then a few one-on-ones, and but over the course of that, like 2 months or so, from November to January, when we first started to really begin a relationship, it was already in my mind clear that I was thinking future with her.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking the same exact thing. I was like, I've never been in a relationship like this. Like, from our very first date, I was just like, okay, I know it. Like, I don't have to search anymore. Like, this is the man that I want to marry. And so it happened very fast. We started dating. A week later, we were sitting on a couch and we were both thinking. We were like, oh, what are you thinking? Oh, what are you thinking? And like, we both were thinking that we loved each other, but neither one of us actually said it. And then a week later, we're sitting on the same couch and we said it. And then right after we said it, I think we both were like, you're gonna be my wife and I'm gonna be your husband, kind of thing. I'll be your wife, you'll be my husband. I said that opposite. So yeah, 2 weeks later we were planning a wedding, and ever since then, God has been blessing our relationship, and it's been so obvious that he's in our relationship, and we notice that every day and we thank him every day. for putting each other in our lives because we complement each other so well. What I lack, he has, and what he lacks, I have, and so it's been amazing.
Right. I mean, I feel like I was at a point in my life where I was enjoying my life, and I just wanted somebody else to enjoy it. I felt that way for a couple of years, and so it all came together really, really fast when I finally saw that this could be that person. And then after that, seeing that she shared my faith, and it doesn't make it easier. It's just like any other relationship, but it gives us a guideline, and when we go a little bit too far to the left or a little bit too far to the right, we have that balance to get us back in order. And so, yes and no is always in the Bible, like we say, and we just communicate about the the details and the timing.
Yeah, so that's how we met. At the place where we had one of our first dates. We went there for Valentine's Day. It's called Top of the World in Baltimore, and I was expecting, I thought he was going to propose when we were there on Valentine's Day, but I was not expecting it at all when we were there on May 4th, and so yeah, he did a good job surprising me.
She was expecting on one of our first dates. So this was the only surprise that I had left, pretty much the ring and the proposal, because we've been working backwards. So I wanted to go a little bit over the top. And so the plan is that her and I were going to meet at 6:15 after our days and stuff. And we were going to just go to Top of the World, and that's what she thought it was going to be, one of our date nights. But the real plan was that her family was going to be there, and a few of our friends were going to help with the proposal as well. So her family and I were supposed to meet at 5 o'clock, and we were going to run through a quick, just hit the ideas and all that and get everything nailed down. And I get there at 5:05 or so, and I'm getting ready to park, and I get a phone call from Belinda, and she says, "Don't panic, but the place closes at 6." And so now we have about 45 minutes to casually, calmly get Delaney to leave her workout early and not shower and come to the place. And that went...
I was not happy. I felt very rushed, and I was like, wait, I thought we weren't meeting until 6:15. He was like, no, you don't have to shower. And it's a date night, so I wanted to shower and look nice. So I literally just ran out the door in the clothes that I was working out in, and I meet him in Baltimore.
Right, and the plan was to have two of our friends down on the street, because Top of the World is very high up, about 27 floors up, and so you can see people on the street, but you can't make out any details really. So what I was going to do is have us look through these quarter binoculars, those machine ones where you can flip and see the street. And I was going to find our two friends where I knew they were going to be, and they had two poster boards, and they said, "Marry me" on them. So when I put the quarter in and saw, I'd find the guys and be like, "Well, look at these two dudes." And then that, when she put her eyes in the binoculars, that was the cue for her family to pop out, and I was going to get on my knee. That's the plan. And what really happened is that as she's driving into the city, she somehow, in a mega city like Baltimore, sees the two friends that are supposed to be helping with the proposal down the street. And thank God it was raining, because
I was very confused because they were sitting outside in the rain. I saw them from afar, and so I rolled down my window. I don't like driving in Baltimore, but I'm screaming out my window. I'm like, "Jeff, Eric, hey guys!" And so I text them when I'm parked, obviously.
And the whole time I'm on the phone with her, so I hear her all of a sudden say, "Oh my God, is that Jeff?" And my heart's in my mouth. I'm like, well, I mean, if she says they have "marry me" signs, then I'm just gonna say, "Well, will you?" And thankfully, it was raining, so they rolled the signs up so they just looked like they were sitting in the rain with two neon pieces of cardboard. And she goes, "Yeah, they're just sitting in the rain." And I didn't hear anything about the sign, so I thought, I'll just say something, a lie. And then so she was diverted by that, I guess, and was just like, yeah, maybe they're going to the Baltimore game, the Orioles game, or whatever.
Yeah, and so we get to the parking spots. We start walking to Top of the World, and then he's kind of like, oh, I'm cold. Let's start running. So we're like running through the streets of Baltimore to get to Top of the World, and on the way he drops his Groupon, and but he had already paid because he's already been there, so it was just going to be like hand it to the lady and walk in. So we get there, and he's like, I think I dropped the Groupon while we were running. And I was like, oh, well, let me run back and try and find it. Like, I don't want to, like, pay for this fully when we can use a Groupon. And he's like, no.
So then this place was supposed to close at 6, right? So that was also why we were running, because the curators and people there, we had convinced to stay open a little bit later so that we could do this, and we said that they could be part of the proposal and stuff. And so we're running, and it's raining, and yeah, they fell out of my ticket, and we've been budgeting, so we're not trying to spend any extra money. And so I say, oh crap, I dropped the tickets, and the lady isn't going to charge me again because I've already been there, so she was just going to casually let us go in. But she's like, no, you didn't. And so she starts going outside, like, oh, I'll go get them real quick. And I was like, no, we don't have time, And she's like, no, you didn't. Like, check your pockets. And I have the ring in my left jacket pocket. And
I started looking through the right.
She gets through my pants right pocket and my right jacket pocket before I know where this is going. And I go, it's okay, I'll pay, or whatever. And then, thankfully, that went smoothly, and we get in the elevator, and we start heading up to the top floor. And there's nobody else in the building right by this point. And the first thing that she wants to do is go to the right when we should be going to the left, and to the right is where her parents are hiding because she wants to see if she can see the tickets from the top. And so I go, oh, it doesn't matter, whatever, like, let's see, like, what at this and that, blah, blah. And finally, thankfully, she didn't go.
We found it on the way back to the car, though, so
we
do have it.
We do have it. And then finally we go to the left, and I'm thinking we just got to get this thing going. So I go directly to the binoculars, and then
And I see Jeff and Eric from up there without the binoculars, and so I get my phone and I take a picture and I send it to them, and I'm like, hey, I can see you guys from up here. And they text me back, they're like, ha ha ha, where are you? And I didn't respond back because at this point my phone was in my pocket. And then their phones die, so.
Right, and this binocular machine is not like a normal insert coin here slot. You gotta, like, this was some intricate thing that I can't figure out, and like I'm fumbling with this quarter and the thing for like at least a minute. So she's seeing them, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, she's gonna see the sign, and then so I finally get the quarter in there, and now this thing weighs like 100 pounds. It doesn't stay. You have to like lift the bottom up and look in at the same time, and I can't find them. And so I go, crap, I can't find them, talking to myself, and she goes, oh, let me look. Right, so she gets in front and she looks through the binoculars, which is the cue for everyone to jump out, and I know that the thing is not on our friends yet, and so I look over to the left and see the curator start making a motion for the family to come out, and I'm going no. But it's too late, and so I just get down on one knee, and thankfully I think that it actually ended up working out the way it was supposed to in the end, because she turned around and I was on one knee with a ring out, and her family was snapping photos,
and I was shocked. I didn't see it coming, and also I was like very upset with myself because I was like, man, I was being so rude to you. I was like, we shouldn't go, it's raining. Like, on the way there, I'm like, why are we running? And like being such a brat the whole entire time, and the whole time he's like, oh, I'm about to propose to this girl, and she's being whatever I was being. But yeah, I didn't expect it at all, and yeah, you did a good job. We'll see you on July 8th.
Hi, I was about to say, I'm Delaney.